Look at how I bop my head. Look at me. Look at me.
Hello to ladies, it's Cupcake Kavar again. I am with another video, as I promised, about, this time is actually about mechanical keyboards. Because I actually have very interesting problems that I don't hear about a lot, so I thought I figured I'd make a video about it. I have small fingers, so my hands are, I think when I went to the jewelry store to get sized for my engagement ring, I was the smallest commercially available size, which that means that it's the smallest size that I could get. I could walk into a store and they could probably have on hand. But anything smaller would probably actually have to be specially ordered. By contrast, my fiance has the biggest male ring size available that you could just technically walk into a store and get. So I think I'm like a 5, 5.5. I'll double check and then put it right here. Anyway, you would think that would not necessarily cause too many problems. And when I'm typing normally, it really doesn't cause too many problems. Most keyboards are very accommodating for that. When I'm gaming, however, there's a little bit more of a problem, especially if a game starts to use a lot of different keys, and especially if for some reason they start using the F function keys. I just am not going to reach those in any decent amount of time. It's just too far to stretch. So I've been going through, for the past few years actually, several mechanical keyboards. My first one was a pretty cheapy one. It was my first mechanical keyboard ever, and it had rainbow coloring, which I didn't really feel that, but I figured I didn't want to spend too much money if I didn't want to really invest in mechanical keyboards. And it was blue, had blue switches. At first, because I grew up with an old Mac that actually had those heavy clicky keys, at first it didn't bother me. But I tend to be a night owl and I'm up at all time of night, and when I'm going full speed on a keyboard, it can get loud. So I found out about brown key switches. So I then switched to a brown key switch, which is the one I'm actually leaving right now. And I actually had a smaller one, which was only about this size, that I took to work with me. And then I had this one at home. Now, these are extremely respectable keyboards. The only problem I had was that my small one, the H stopped working. And on this one, my quotation marks aren't working right. I mean, they were well under 50 bucks, and I did get a year or two out of them, but still. The H was very annoying. The quotation marks when you're writing a story is extremely annoying. So it was time for me to move on. I had a friend who streams, his name is Darth Technosage, I will put a link to his Twitch, who actually had a few extra mechanical keyboards that I was going to go try out. I actually tried out a very, very compact one, which is like 48 keys, which you had to function, and the space bar is half the size. I'll show you some footage of it. And these Magicforce, one was black switches, and I believe the other one was like red switches. And one was tighter than the other. I didn't really care for, I think, the red one, but the keyboard itself was identical. Now, when I was using my big Velocifier, and especially since I do type a lot, I'm on the computer a lot, I'm trying to preserve my hands as much as possible. I do have a vertical mouse right now. Velocifier, I was actually using a gaming pad. This is a Game Titan. It's a cheapie, $23. You can get it for anywhere from $23 to $30 on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And it put everything right where I needed it. It's not really a keyboard, like people were leaving bad reviews saying it's a horrible keyboard. Well, it's not really a keyboard, it's made for you to game on. And I had pretty good results with this. I mean, it even has a space bar so you can use your thumb, little wrist rest. It's not the perfect thing, it's certainly not a razor, but it does the job. However, it is membrane, it is not mechanical. After you've been spoiled, it's hard to go back. Let's put it that way. And so my fingers would actually get tired on mechanical keyboard, on a membrane keyboards. Dark Techno says let me borrow a very small, I think it was 48 key keyboard. It was absolutely adorable. Blue lights, but I had to press function key to do any like 1, 2, 3 and F functions. That was a little harder than I expected. I decided on this Magicforce, which has black key switches. I've been typing for years and I still have very slender fingers, very small hands. Not necessarily small hands, I have small fingers. Like I'm literally almost half and half exactly. So when I'm using a keyboard, I do notice and I make more mistakes if the keys are too far. Now the 48 key one literally takes some huge adaptation. I'm not saying don't get that one. It's actually a really, really, really nice keyboard. It's really good if you have to, like if you take your laptop when you're traveling a lot and you don't like the feel of your laptop keyboard for a long period of time. This is a really small, great compact keyboard to take with you and use it while you're editing, while you're typing, as long as you can adapt. It does have a fairly steep learning curve if you use the F keys and the number keys a lot. If you don't, it should be right up your alley. The Velocifier is good if you only want to get 1 or 2 years out of it, but if you want to be in an office setting and it's quiet, the brown keys are a really great option. But Darth was nice enough to give me his extra, because he had 2, his extra Magicforce for me to use. And I'm going to be taking, because I bought these keycaps, the purple ones, the black ones were the ones that came with it. The purple ones I bought. So I will be replacing a lot of these keycaps on here. In fact, this is my little tray of keycaps I had to order from, still think it was either China or Singapore, in order to get any type of purple at a reasonable price without having them custom made from scratch. So I will be pulling off my Velocifier ones, and I'm not gonna cover the whole thing, just like I didn't cover the entire thing of my other one. I like black and purple a lot, so I will be replacing some of my keys with the purple key switches and replacing the black on my Velocifier so that it doesn't take up as much space. I will show you the results after I'm done. Thank you for tuning in, lords and ladies. This is Cupcake Kavara with just some observations on a small-handed, well, fingered person trying to deal with gaming on a standard keyboard. Thank God they've made smaller ones. Otherwise, I'd probably end up spending $200 to $300 on a gamepad, which I really don't want to do right now. Remember, if you like this content, if you're interested in more content like this, hit the subscribe button in below. If you want to share this with anybody, please share. If you liked it, up thumbs it, didn't like, down thumbs, it's okay. Talk to you lords and ladies later.
I want to say hello to the people.
You can't even turn it.
I can't even turn it. What the heck? That's messed up. That's not funny. Hello, people.